Hey everybody, it's Kyle. I am coming to you again from the car. And yeah, I forgot to bring my handheld recorder again. I'll tell you. Anyway, it's kind of one of those things that just happened this way, and we had to divide and conquer tonight. So my wife is going to one of my son's events. At the high school, and it's a music event, so he'll be playing in multiple bands and singing choir. So yeah, there's that. And then I am headed about 40 minutes away to a volleyball game, of course. You know me and volleyball, man. But anyway, so that's where I'm going. So we just divided and conquered. That's it. What's good in my life right now? Well, I mean, a lot of things. We were able to pull off the whole homecoming situation. It was very different to have two kids going, and especially because my daughter, it was her first time as a freshman going to homecoming. But handling two of those scenarios instead of just one, big difference, definitely. And then, we had a tough time finding a place to do pictures, because they all want to do pictures now before. And so my wife was able to talk to our buddy, Julie, and she let us come and take pictures there, which was pretty cool. It's a beautiful property and all that. And so it was really nice of her to, allow us to come there, and the kids were able to do some poses and everything, which my wife came up with all those ideas. But yeah, it went off really well, and it turned out really good. I think my daughter, maybe she looked a little too good for homecoming. I'm not ready for my little 14-year-old girl to look like that, because she looked absolutely stunning. But hey, it's still pretty awesome. And, he seems like a real nice guy. We actually hung out with his parents at their house and had a couple cocktails and played some cards while the dance was going on. And so that was cool too. Met some new people, and they were very nice. But yeah, so, I mean, it went off really well. It went really good. It was definitely a whirlwind week last week, but I mean, it came out really, really fantastically. There's no two ways about it. So there's that. I am kind of going through a bout of depression. I can tell you guys that. I know I talked about it last time, in the last episode, and yeah, it's definitely here, and it's definitely, wielding its ugly head. Or I guess you don't wield your head, do you? But it's showing its ugly face. How's that? I really don't know how to explain it, other than to say that it's a constant in the back of my head telling me all kinds of horrible things about myself. I'm not talented. I'm a fake. I'm a fraud. I suck. I'm not worthy of being with the people that I love and I care for and care about. A lot of stuff like that. And it, even though I know that's ridiculous, and I know that that's most certainly not the case, it still just keeps going. It won't stop. And so, yeah, there you go. So that's been going on, and that's been really frustrating and kind of difficult to deal with. It I think I was so busy leading up to Saturday night and the homecoming dance and everything that I wasn't feeling it quite as bad as I have since then. And I know today, Monday, being back to work and everything, it just was pretty incessant. It would not stop. in the back of my mind, haunting me. So that kind of sucks, and it's just one of those things I deal with. I talked to a buddy of mine, TV, and he's like, well, is there anything you can do about it? And we discussed it a little bit, and I said, yeah, I take meds anyway, but I probably, since it's accelerated, it's kind of bad right now. I probably should think about taking it as Xanax. And he was like, dude, go get it. And so I did, and he was right. I definitely was able to get through the rest of the workday fine and all that. But yeah, it's pretty brutal attack, I guess, is what I would say. That's what it feels like. Yeah. So that's kind of going on, and that really sucks. But there's not much I can do about it other than try and combat it the only ways I know how, and to stop and really think about things and realize that, dude, that's not real. That's bullshit, and stuff like that. That can help me maybe get my head a little straighter, and basically just not think about it. That's really the ultimate destructive activity that takes place is having that time for your brain to play those tricks on you and make you think that way. And so if you're busy, or if you can, I guess, with Xanax, adjust your mind so that you're not thinking about it, I can usually get through it fine. And I will, and I'll get through this. It's just one of those things that happens every once in a while. I don't know, friends out there, if you guys have had anything like that happen, how do you get through those situations and those bouts? I'd be interested in knowing. So reach out to me. You guys know how to get a hold of me. There's the Dad Snark Facebook page, of course. There's at the Dad Snark on Twitter, and even on Anchor.fm. If you go to Dad Snark Podcast, the Dad Snark Podcast, you'll find us, and you can actually go in there and put comments in there as well. Or Dad Snark Podcast, or I think it's dadsnark@gmail.com. I'll put links to all this stuff in the notes. But if you've got something to say about it, or you have some recommendations or suggestions, I would appreciate it. And I won't use your name or anything like that. I will just say an anonymous person, unless you want me to. I'm to the point now, I don't care if people know, because it's a part of me. And that's just the way it is, man. But I do respect people's privacy and anonymity, and I would never out someone on anything, but certainly not that. So, reach out if you got any ideas. So I'm going to take a quick break real quick, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about a few things that I'm into right now. And, let me throw it over to Kyle. Hey, Kyle. All right, and we're back. Okay, so what am I into right now? Well, as you may well imagine, I'm definitely into the SteamDeck. Man, I know I talked about it a lot in the last episode, but I think I'll probably be talking about it a lot for a while. It's such an amazing device, and I'm not even really, I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and really kind of push it to the limit. I still haven't connected it to a television or external monitor or anything like that. I did finally connect it to my Xbox One controller. I don't even have an Xbox One, but I bought that controller on purpose because I was using it with my tablet, my Samsung tablet that I have. But it also works with the SteamDeck. Now, what I will tell you is this. That wasn't as simple as it sounds. You actually have to upgrade the Xbox One controller, which you can do by connecting it with the USB cord directly to a Windows computer. And you actually have to update the firmware inside there in order for it to be able to do the Steam Deck. But because I was trying real hard and it wasn't working, I was like, what in the hell is going on with this shit? But then I read, somebody said, hey, yeah, you got to update it to the latest software, which of course I had not. So pretty easy. I just plugged it into the server, the media server I have downstairs at my house, and went out to Microsoft Store or whatever on Windows, and boom, there you go. Speaking of that server, I had the old spinning hard drive kind of go bad in that thing. Now that computer, what it is it's a small form factor Dell, an Optiplex, and I bought it, like 5 years ago maybe, because another one that I had died. And it's a Core i7, but an early Core i7, one of the first ones. But it came with, I think it was 8 gigs of RAM, so 2 4-gig chips. Even though the dumb butts had it in there single channel. Good Lord. So when I broke into it to change some things out, and I bought 2 more 4-gig chips of RAM for it, DDR3 RAM. And then I also got a 512 megabyte SSD, or gigabyte, sorry, not megabyte, a 512 gig SSD, so that I would just put Windows and stuff on that, and it'll boot off that. That'll be the boot drive. And then there's really no room inside to put the hard drive, so I'm not going to sweat that, but it's a 500 gig hard drive. I don't know. I don't even know if it's worth putting in a case. I have no idea. I'll have to think about it. But yeah, so I cracked that sucker open and switched that out, put in the new RAM, and man, it's running like a top now. But yeah, I was able to do everything, like, with my phone. I was able to do the Android, connect to Windows thing and all that jazz that I really haven't messed much with. But yeah, works great. Server's working great. Playing movies back just fine. Definitely a little snappier than it used to be. But yeah, I was able to connect the controller and then go on there and just update the firmware. And then when I tried to pair it with the Steam Deck, of course, boom, right away. So that's pretty cool. So I'm getting closer to connecting it to a TV and playing with it. I just haven't done it yet, guys. But I will, I just need time. It's really busy right now still in our household. And I think through October, it's going to kind of maintain that. I don't know how much longer we have of volleyball. I do think it is through this month, though, or at least halfway through this month of coming up, October. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll just deal with whatever it is. And, yeah, then I'll have a little more free time down the road. What I did do also, though, I already told you guys about the games that I picked up. So I still cannot remember the name of that Star Wars game. It's the last Star Wars game that came out about the younger kid that is a Jedi and is kind of hiding it. And it's really good. But I had that already. I had bought that before. And then, of course, Apex Legends, all that stuff. I downloaded that. But I picked up that game Stray, about the stray cat. That game's awesome also. And then I picked up Horizon Zero Dawn, which is fantastic. But what I came across was one of those Humble Bundle sales. I don't know if you ever get those emails, but you can look it up, like Humble, like Be Humble, and then Bundle, a bundle of something. But they will have these deals where, they'll have a collection of games, and you can go on, and however much you pay, you get so many of those games. And so there's always a minimum you can pay to get all of them. In this case, they were LucasArts games. And I got 17 total games, and I think it was like $10. And, a portion of the money goes to charity. That's kind of the deal. But, LucasArts has enough money already. They don't need any. But yeah, they donate the funds to go towards a worthy cause. It was something to do with children. I really don't know. But yeah, I went on there and got that, and it came with, all the old LucasArts games. Like, I don't know if you ever played any of the Scum VR game, yeah, I think that's what it is, Scum VM games. But it's a certain type of file format or whatever, and it's these kind of adventure games. They're interactive. Example would be like Full Throttle. If you ever played Full Throttle, that's a great game. It's an adventure story kind of a game that takes place. You're this motorcycle guy, and you're trying to figure out this mystery. There's also Day of the Tentacle came with it, which is another kind of a comical mystery game also, science fiction based. There's Grim Fandango, which is amazing. I remember when that game came out and what a big deal it was, but it looks great and plays great on there. I don't remember. There's more. But then it also has all of those, Jedi games that they had for a while, like Jedi Academy, and it's got a bunch of those in there too. It has Aliens, Colonial Marines is in there. Alien versus Predator was also in there. It's got a bunch of pinball games, which I wouldn't play on that system, but they came with it. I think you have to own the pinball software to begin with, but these are just tables. Had a bunch of Star Wars ones, some Marvel ones. Oh, and then it also came with at least 2, maybe more, of the Star Wars Lego games, which I never was really that crazy about, but I know people absolutely love those games. So I'm going to give it another shot and go back and try and play those. But yeah, it came with those as well. So yeah, pretty cool. And I mean, they're all Steam based. So I started installing them and installed several of them, and I played a little bit with the original Legacy, whatever, of Star Wars Lego. Kind of fun. I just need to get into it a little more. And then played a little bit of Full Throttle. And yeah, that's about it. But I just kind of got them in there installed. That'll give me some stuff to do to play with on there. And like I said, at some point I'll be able to connect this sucker up to the TV or to a monitor and really do some gaming. I just have not had a chance. Just been too busy. All right, so that's enough about SteamDeck story. Good Lord, I didn't mean to go on that long about it. What am I watching? I watched Andor, okay? That came out last week. The first 3 episodes. There'll be a new one this coming Wednesday, I believe. Wow. I had wondered if this might not be special, and I can tell you that it is, for sure. It is amazing. I really, really love this show. I think the reason why I like it so much is of course, it reminds me of Rogue One. I mean, that's where that character comes from. But I think the big reason it reminds me of that is it's story first, and then the fact that they're within the Star Wars universe is kind of incidental. I mean, obviously, yes, they're in the Star Wars universe, and this is when Cassian Andor is younger, and he's becoming a part of the rebellion, and he's kind of a spy, right? But the spy stuff and all of the spy story and all that stuff, that's what's most important. The fact that it's Star Wars is kind of like, okay, well, it's just thrown into this universe, but this story could happen almost anywhere. I like it a lot. I think it's really good. It's very well acted. It looks great. It's beautiful. The ships are practical effects, it looks like to me. They may be CGI. If they are, they're some of the best CGI I've ever seen. I can tell you that. But I believe that they're practical effects. They're amazing. And the ships make sense, too. They're not making special ships just because it's Star Wars and they can and it's a different time and all that. It all works really, really well together. And the story on Cassian's backstory, on his life, how he got involved in this, is pretty incredible, man. I really don't know how else to say it except you should watch this show. If you have an interest in Star Wars at all, if you really liked Rogue One, I think this is going to be right up your alley. Now, I did have one friend tell me, I thought it was really boring. And I mean, it is slow moving, because like I said, it's more about the story. And also, they're trying to establish characters. It's the beginning of the story, right? That's kind of what happens in anything. I mean, Book of Boba Fett, the first few episodes were very slow. They're trying to establish the character, even though most people who watch that know Boba Fett, But Cassian Andor is not a character that's that well known. So, yeah. But it's good. I really liked it a lot. I would say check it out if you get a chance. What else am I watching? I mean, not really much that I can think of off the top of my head. There's some things that I want to watch, and I'll get around to them when I can, but I just haven't had a chance. What am I listening to? Man, I'll tell you, I'm sure everybody wishes I would quit playing King Kunta by Kendrick Lamar, but I love that song, man. I came late to the Kendrick Lamar party, but I really dig that song, man. It's a great tune. So yeah, I've been blasting that one a lot. That's kind of the song I'm hooked on right now. I have been going back and listening to a lot of Bowie also after seeing that film Moon Age Daydream, which was great. And what else? I can't get past how much I love that Joy Division to New Order album that I've got. Total. It covers, the switch from the band in Joy Division all the way to what they became later with New Order. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And it's one of those ones that I'll put on and play because I like the tunes. And I like the tunes from Joy Division and I like the tunes from New Order. So it is definitely no wonder that I was so into New Order when they came out because I'd already been appreciating Joy Division before that. So, but yeah, it's really good stuff if you get a chance to check that one out as well. You can listen to all that stuff on Spotify. All right, what have I been reading? Well, I have been reading some of these comics that I got, some of that stuff. There are some books I'd be interested in reading here pretty soon, too. Time is just really one of those things I don't have a lot of right now. I got a lot of everything else, man. I mean, I got the baddest ass phone on earth. I've got freaking SteamDeck. I've got records out the butt. Had to buy a new cartridge. I think I told you guys about that Ortofon 2M Red. Amazing sounding. I've got everything, that you could want, really, but I just don't have time. And so when I get more time, I will be able to read more. But right now, I've kind of been going through those Obi-Wan Kenobi comics. They came out, I think it was just a 5-issue series. It's pretty new. Obi-Wan is the older Obi-Wan at the beginning. He's kind of remembering back to some different stories that took place over time, all the way back to, when he was a Padawan with Qui-Gon Jinn, and yeah, it's really good. Give those a chance if you can. Good books, really. Fun adventures. Wow, man, this guy's not gonna let me over, but I'm gonna get over anyway. He's gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, so that's about it for reading. Like I said, there are some things I'm interested in reading. I did download a new Joe R. Lansdale, new to me, Joe R. Lansdale book, audio book. So I will be listening to that sucker pretty soon. I don't have a lot of lawn to mow, though, because that's typically where I listen to my audiobooks. I'm hoping I don't have to go back into the office regularly, but it seems like that may happen. If that's the case, I will listen to it there as well. But that's it on that. Podcasts. About the same, guys. Not much else new other than Serial, the podcast Serial, which is kind of the one that got me into podcasts originally. everybody knows that podcast. But the Adnan Syed, the main story of the original season, I believe, yeah, he got released from prison. And a lot of the doing in that was the prosecution's office, which is crazy, but it's true. They found that some of the materials about investigating other people that could have done this crime were never released to the defense, that's a mistrial. So he is free. I mean, he's been in prison for quite a while, but he's free right now. And they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. It seems like the prosecution may not even try to retry the case. That may just be the end of it. So we'll have to see. But yeah, that came back out, at least one episode. And I know they got a whole other season I never listened to. I think it's season 5. I may go listen to that as well. I do like that. La Monstra is still great. Been listening to that one, and I wouldn't say enjoying it because it's pretty sad, but it's a really well-made podcast. And what else? I think that's about it, guys. There's not much else I can think of when it comes to podcasts other than what I just have told you. Yeah, that's it. Not much else, guys. Just the same old, just me doing my thing, listening to the things I listen to, playing with the things I play with, and reading what I read. But I appreciate you guys listening every week. It does feel good to be able to get on here and just be clear and open about depression, because it is kind of hard to be open about it with people sometimes in person. I'm learning how, but it's not one of the first things you want to tell someone either. You know what I'm saying? So, but it is something you do want to share with people that you care about. So there you go. All right. Appreciate you guys listening. I'll have a new episode for you next week. Keep on listening to this podcast. And like I said, if you've got any ideas or thoughts or anything on how you handle depressive episodes and stuff like that, I would appreciate you reaching out to me. Just check it out on the main podcast page, anchor.fm, and look up the Dad Snark podcast. And there's a way to get a hold of me there. And like I said, the other ways too. I'll put them all in the notes so you guys can just click on them and go to them if you're interested. That's it. I'll see you next week. It's been kind of cool outside. I'm really surprised. It was very, very hot last week, and then it cooled down immensely. Then it got hot for another day or two. Now it's cooled back down again. I really don't care what temperature it is, though. Get off my lawn.